Hello and welcome back to Soundcheck by Learner to Learner, a collaborative learning channel where we all come together and talk about all things audio in this hour or more. I want to say hi to my Clubhouse peeps first because she didn't even get to say anything at all while we were over on RØDECaster user meetup hour. Hello, Ray. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy Tuesday, John. How are you today?
Happy Tuesday. I'm good too. Thank you.
Great. I have a question. So,
all right, we'll come back to you once we get to meet everybody now on Zoom. Hello, Zoom peeps. Let's see if I can get all of you. We have Phillip here. We have Rob here. Phillip. Aaron is here. Nee is here. Arthur is here. Glenn is here, and earlier we'll also have J to J earlier with us, but I think her connection was a little spotty, and so we couldn't get everything exactly what she wanted to ask, really ask us, but hopefully at some point we will be able to do that. Okay, let me see. Not 8 people, 6 people. See, this is what I meant by being polished. I didn't even take J to J's comments off. Okay, so we were probably going to continue. I'm going to continue talking to Phillip about the setup of his RØDECaster. He was doing that during our first hour when we were doing RØDECaster user meetup. It reset to factory setting, and it came to a point where he needed to add in his Wi-Fi information. He put that in, and then we're unable to pass through that after he says, okay, sure, that is the correct password.
I have plugged it. Oh yeah, the password was correct.
Okay.
It's interesting.
It says connected. It says connected.
It said it was connected, but then I had no option but to go back. And once I go back, it starts the setup process over again.
Yeah,
I am going to per your suggestion, I'm going to download the Rode Central.
Yes, it is called Rode Central on the old version. It's now called Rode. So get RØDECaster. So there's an sorry, this is very confusing, but if you, I'm sure other people run into this as well, especially if you got a RØDECaster that was made before the change of the software. So if you go to Rode's website and go to apps, you will find this app, RØDECaster app. Use that one instead of the Rode Central, even though it says so on your RØDECaster screen to download Rode Central, because they have peeled apart the RØDECaster portion of the app away from Rode Central. It used to be part of the same app. Now they peeled it off. It used to be separate. Then they combined it, and now they are separate again. So
I am installing it.
Okay, cool. So at least that typically gives you a little extra, I guess, control, like you because at that time your computer is connected to your device, and then it's allowing you to do more things. And so, for instance, if you don't have the latest firmware, it's going to tell you that you need the latest firmware. So I think the latest firmware release one as of today is 1.5.4. That's probably what's going to ask.
Well, I'm launching it, so let's see how smart it is.
Okay. Sean, hello, Sean.
Did you tell him to spin his chair around 5 times?
I think he did it on his own.
look what the cat dragged in. Hey, Sean.
No wheels, but I can rub my belly and pat my head at the same time. So.
Hello. By the way, everybody, if you want to be part of the panel, part of this panel that last week and this week has been pretty packed, which I'm very excited and happy about. But if you want to do that, you can go to the website, learner2learner.com. I put it in the link. I see Antonio saying hello. Also, hello, Antonio. So in the chat, you'll see learner2learner.com, the website. Go there and click on the Call in with Zoom button. Once you do that, it will bring you to a registration page. Simply registration, your name, your email address, agree that you'll be okay for us to use your picture, your video on the show, and your sound. And then come back, you check your email. I will approve that registration. Once it's approved, you get your link via email. And once you got that email link, you can keep that same link until I change. Occasionally, I might change it. Last time I did it because the recurring meeting was corrupted, and so I had to start a new one. But since I have your email, I will also let you know.
So just to let you know, John, from last time, Zoom uses the same codec as the Rode.
Oh, okay. So then it's the same quality. Then good job for finding that out for me.
It's the same one, the 720, the one we were talking about. So it's the exact same one.
So
but then when you put it in high fidelity music mode, it takes that off and it increases the bit rate.
Oh, wait. So when it's musicians mode, original sound for musicians, it is higher.
Yeah. So we were talking about last week how that Opus codec.
The Call Me codec. The codec. 7. Yeah. What? The 7. What? 7. Oh, 2. Whoops. Oh, whoops.
Somebody
I think it's
changed what they were doing.
I'm gonna mute him for now. Okay, I'm gonna.
So it's the exact same one, but when you put it in the high music mode, it increases the bit depth and takes off echo cancellation, but it is using the same one. So to answer your question, Rode and Zoom, same.
So the sound quality, if you use the Rode Call Me, it's the same as Zoom
on regular mode.
On regular mode. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
But they're both
1.4. Wow, my memory.
Not constant bit rate. Remember, like I said last time. So it's not ideal, but
yeah. But when you do, so there were 2 codecs, right? Mm-hmm. There is one, I forgot what it's called. One is like something, there's a 2.
721 and 720, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can open up that article that Nee found us. That was really good. I when I'm live, I could barely hear what you guys are talking, like listen to Nee talking. So when that article was sent to me, I couldn't. I mean, I didn't read it because my brain couldn't process it. So, so these 2, we're talking about G722 or G711. So those are the 2 it uses, or one of those?
It does, but when you go to HD mode, which is the music mode, it changes to something they call Silk.
Oh, okay. So is it still It's like a different codec.
Yeah, and so,
I love that. This is why I love this thing. Like, I would not be able to find out. I don't even know what to look for all this. And Sean came in with the things, that information that I wanted to know.
So Silk,
yes,
is Skype quality, and it's optimized for voice over IP, right?
Okay.
But with
Silk sucks so badly. It's Skype.
Here's the thing with Silk, though, it's still variable bit rate. They're both variable. They're not constant. So you're not, it's dynamically changing the bit rate.
I mean, I would imagine for internet connected things, you gotta have to do that. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh, very clear and nothing. So I think it works for internet wise. It's good. Now, so I know when we talk about Call Me, it is 20 kilohertz max quality wise.
Yeah. So with Silk, so here's the important thing to remember. You being a video person, you know, the MP4 is a container, right? And then you put stuff in the container. So in this case, Opus is the container. Silk is one of the things in said container.
I see.
So it can go back from Opus. It Opus
back and forth.
And when you go on to HD, it'll switch to Silk, which is in there. Mm-hmm. And Silk only has the sample rate changes in Silk. So it'll sample at 8K, which is really bad, 12K, 16, and 24K. And we know CD quality's 44.1.
Yeah.
So it's doing half of that because it's assuming...
That's Silk?
Yeah, it's assuming it's just voice.
And then when it is in Opus 722, 711,
it opens up a bit more, but it's still not 44.1, right? It's not CD quality.
But the sampling rate for the Opus, for the call, is higher than the musician mode, the stereo?
Yeah, it can go up to 48.
Wait.
24.
I thought it's maxed out at 20 kilohertz.
Right. What I said last week. I'm just talking about
20,
Silk now.
yes. Yeah. Okay.
So when the Silk will go up to 24, but it's still
variable.
Not 44.1, and yes, still variable. So
okay. So that's why the sound that we were testing, original sound for musicians on Zoom and Rode Call Me, is very similar.
Using the same codec.
Yeah. Okay. So
they're both using Opus. So.
If for somebody who's already using like what we're doing right now, there really isn't any need for me to do Call Me. I mean, I can see maybe if I'm only talking to other RØDECasters people, maybe I can see why it might be useful to have that. Like all RØDECaster users, I mean, you can have, even if you pay for it, you can only have 3 channels. Not.
Yeah, you're just renting phone lines that they're renting and they're marking it. If you're looking for a high fidelity, go NDI.
Which is, wait, where's Charles? Oh, I have 8 people. I cannot count. I changed my layout a little bit. I can't count.
It's all right. That's all right. I was just hanging out backstage. That's all.
Are we getting progress, Phillip? It looks like it.
Phillip's looks like it's gone past.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, all right. Okay. Cool. All right.
So I'm at the point where it's saying, plug your headphones in, but there's stereo headphone out on the back. It's just channel 1, channel 2, left, right.
What? No, headphones would be. No, look at the headphones.
There's individual headphone ports on the back as well.
It's an 1/8 inch. No, it's 1/4 inch.
They're 1/4 inch.
Yeah, right there. That's it.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're right. You're in one. You were in the correct one, man. You weren't.
Yeah, that's
the ones beside it are the speaker outs. So that's right. Yeah.
So no, it was only coming out of my left speaker though, and I know these headphones work. So
wait, your headphones. Your headphones. You're saying you're only hearing one side.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It might be panned, right?
But he just reset everything, so it shouldn't be. Now it's asking, you're going through the wizard, right? It's asking you to see, okay, that's interesting.
Let's see the pins on the headphones, though.
Yeah, now I've got nothing. Let's just assume they work. I'll go back and fix them later.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're plugging your headphones into the Focusrite or any of the other things, you know they work. So
no, these are separate headphones.
Wait, you use the same headphones. Use the same headphones just to make sure. Don't change the variable halfway.
Let's see. How many rings do you have in your headphones?
It's a stereo connector. It's
standard.
standard.
The TRS?
It'll have two. It's. I know the ones he's using. They're.
Make sure that's plugged all the way in and snap.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, you got it secondhand, right, Phillip?
I did.
Let's try it and see if it works. And if it's not, then you have to get in with the service call.
Yeah, fun stuff. Okay,
but
well, look, I don't want to occupy everybody's time here while I'm,
live setup is RØDECaster.
But John, did you see what Phillip did? He has orange headphone pads. He's got the orange picture in the back. Like he's going hard for you, man.
I just want to say, John, and anybody who wants to get this really cool logo that I made, I'm a Learner fan. I've got T-shirts now in my shop and hats. And
that's what somebody asked for. Oh yeah. Aaron asked for it.
For a very reasonable price.
I want merch.
But only for a limited time.
Yep. Merch.
Hey, merch is easy. I might actually look into doing it.
All you gotta do is just
Phillip, I would encourage you to take advantage of but the combination of Sean and John here. You're not going to get it every day. I would strongly encourage you to use that time wisely now.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna. Rob is talking, but hopefully it's not talking to us because he's.
I was.
Oh yeah. What were you talking?
I said I know 3 people in this room that would definitely have a Learner to Learner T-shirt on.
Oh really? Oh my gosh, I'm surprised. Like right now. Okay, let me work on it. Let me work on it.
All you gotta do is just send a logo
I want
to
the hat.
I know. I think you said you want a beanie.
I said I want a toque.
I
said I wanted a toque.
Because you're are you Canadian?
Canada, so it's toque. Yeah.
I want puzzle pieces on it.
No.
I mean, all you gotta do is just get a drop shop, and you don't have to do anything. Just find a drop shop.
No, I know exactly where to do it. I know I have
okay, John, don't forget about me.
Shirts and hats right now, and they'd be ready to go in like 15 minutes.
All right, did y'all hear who asked for help? All right.
Yeah,
Ray, sorry, I forgot
Ray.
about you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, how did you set up your camera once you set it up? Sorry, I'm always like that, guy, so sorry.
What do you mean?
She has the same camera you do, right, John? Didn't you say last week?
She has a Mach 2.
No, I have the advanced model.
Yeah, she has the Mach 2, I have the Mach 1.
Yeah, I went to B&H. I got the right microphone, so I'm speaking on my mic, real mic. I got it, like I got the handle the right way instead of a floor one. I have one for my desk. But it's a little too high, but I'll manage. But in any event, I wanted to know, because I know you need to set up the Sony, so I don't know how to really set it up. So can you just point me in the right direction? Where can I get a step-by-step? I did watch a tutorial on YouTube, but the guy was just too much into pros and cons. I just want to do it, because that's the only thing about YouTube. YouTube University can send you all the way around the world.
I'll send you to a channel called Camcheck, a sister channel to Soundcheck. No, sorry, just kidding. So
no, you're not. You got to set that channel up now.
I'm gonna go. Sean, I want to tell you that I was gonna start setting up my podcast
can you tell
on Thursday. This
Cool.
Thursday.
Okay.
So Ray, you setting up your camera. What do you mean?
Correct.
To do what?
I mean all the modules on it to set the far away, close up, You know, all the,
I don't think I'm able to help you with that, because you might just go through the manual and just go through all. Frankly, when I got mine, I just set it up from this video setup, and it's been behind my Elgato prompter since I set it up. I haven't touched it. I mean, I touched it to turn it on. Speaking of, earlier we talked about that. There is a deal right now, Amazon Prime Day week.
Oh man, that is great. Thanks for showing me this, because mine got hurt in the move. My Elgato prompter is no more. I've got to get another one.
All right, so here's the link.
Hey.
I'm going to put the link in there. If you use that link, I get 0.01 cents, baby. So it helps the channel.
you guys are so silly.
So
that's like $110 off, man. It's amazing.
What's that, Rob?
Hey, John, can I make a suggestion to her?
Yes, Phillip.
So I'm a former
Sony guy.
And I'm not volunteering.
Not speaking on behalf of Sony. This is from Phillip.
Thank you.
Neither are you of Apple. So
it's been a decade since I worked for Sony, but when I left, and I imagine they still do, they have pretty extensive
videos,
user assistance, including, unless they've shut it down, a really robust call center. So there's on Sony support, there's a thing called Getting Started with an Alpha Camera, and it's got step-by-step, this is what you need to do basically whatever you want to do. It's just getting it going so your computer sees it, or whatever device is. I'm not going to say it should be easy, because I don't know what your level of knowledge is, and that would be unfair for me to say, but it's not that bad. And Sony has tons of resources.
And take it one step at a time. Don't try to do it all. Take it, I would say, because there's so much.
I know. I'm trying to do it slow, so that's why I just finally got it out of the box. I put everything together. I got all of my information. It's just that the reason why I like the details, the particulars, because I might photograph in a room or outside. So because I'm really, my complexion is dark, I just want to get the lighting the correct way. So that's why I need to know how to set it. That's the issue. I want to look gorgeous on camera.
Ray, just send it to me, and I'll help you set it, and I'll send it back to you.
Also, too, Ray, doesn't again, I've been out of the
B&H should have videos too.
But B&H generally has pretty robust customer support stuff too.
Yeah.
So
Charles, aren't you a video guy?
And I have one more question, John. So
I'm not a Sony guy. So
okay.
What do you guys think about paying for ChatGPT? Do you think it's worth it, or you think to just stay with the regular free one?
Pay for it.
That is the easiest yes I'll ever say.
Why?
Really?
20 bucks to get the Pro.
Right.
Because there's not much you can't do with it anymore.
Like what?
I've
been considering. I'm not messing with you. I had a wonderful conversation with my friend ChatGPT last night.
So here's the advantage of getting the Pro. One, you get longer conversations. So you'll notice that you get cut off depending on what model you're using. You'll get cut off. It'll say, you've sent too many messages, come back, and you kind of have to take a break on the free version. Pro, you don't have that limitation. You also get access to different language models that you may not have access to on the free model. You can now generate high quality images, AI generated images, a lot better than you used to be able to. You can do coding, you can do data analysis, research. It's pretty incredible. And you can also hook in third-party apps or MCPs, multi-connection protocols, to where you can hook up into your Google account, or maybe you're trying to work with something in your Google Drive. Instead of having to download it, upload it, you can just say, hey, go find this file on my Google Drive and make this change to it, or let me know how this could be redone in another format. I mean, it all depends on your use case. I use ChatGPT all day. I use multiple models. I use ChatGPT, I use Claude, I use Manus, and I use MC.
Okay, so
I don't use Copilot. I don't use anything Microsoft.
No, me neither. I can't stand it. Yeah, me neither. I just wanted to ask you one question, Tal. I was working with it today, right? So it's a show that comes, it's a fashion show that happens every year in New York City. They don't do it anymore. So the ChatGPT, I asked it to write it like Women's Wear Daily or Vogue or New York Times. So when it wrote the article, I don't know if it's because it's free and that's why I'm checking before I pay, it wrote the wrong season. So it said, because I wrote that it was in, it's this place called Battery Park, and it's also in a garden in Manhattan, and it's like Midtown is like 42nd Street going east. And so it says, yeah, it was in a garden with the flowers, the sun, this and that. So I wrote it back and I said, that's not that year. So then it said, oh, I'm sorry. So then I had to tell it was fall. It was not spring. It was early in the morning. Like those shows are 8 a.m., 9, maybe 10, they start. So I had to tell it again, and then it kept apologizing in a little way. So I don't want to...
Well, so here's the thing to understand, that it does not matter if it's ChatGPT, Claude, Manus, or anything. They are inherently working off of a snapshot of the internet. Okay, so they only know, their learning only goes so far. But that's where you get into pro accounts, is where you can start doing web search. So it will take all its existing knowledge, plus it'll go search the web for anything that's updated, relevant to what you're asking for, and be able to use that information that's finding. On the free one, you're only using the repository of information that it has. So it's limited to that information. The other thing to keep in mind is every AI model, its number one goal is to make you happy.
To please you.
So it can lie to you to make you happy.
Can I quickly just interject a comment from our chatter person?
Sure.
Who happens to be Nozzle, who's a AI expert, bona fide. Microsoft AI expert, so he knows his stuff. And he put in the chat right now, that's a lot of misinformation about AI, hitting a company that provides the internet access to ChatGPT and talking about that feature.
Nozzle, if you can hear this, feel free to come join the show, and then we will have a different opinion.
So here's another thing. Somebody asked ChatGPT, since you've been created, what did you learn? What have you learned about humans?
Oh no!
And it gave a few points. So if you're interested, I can go through them quickly. But this is what ChatGPT thinks of humans.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So the first thing it said is humans can literally rewire their brains with thoughts alone, and it talked about neuroplasticity, where we can reshape our biology, our beliefs, especially repeated ones, and pathways, and we can think our way into anxiety, genius, resilience, or madness. It says there's a blind spot that we as humans think we're stuck with our personality, but we're not. We can choose who we are over and over again. Second thing it said is we willingly ignore death every day. We know we're going to die, and we know everyone we love is going to die, yet we go to brunch like it's another Sunday. And we always do the I'll get to it later, and we live as if we're immortal until it's too late. Third thing, it says we evolved for survival, not truth. So our brain isn't designed to perceive reality. It's designed to keep you alive. So this means we value comfort over truth. Next thing, it says we're haunted by symbols we barely understand. Money, God, country, fame, they're all abstractions. Yet you'll kill, die, and sacrifice things for these money, God, country, and fame. Your identity is a software patchwork of inherited myths. And last one it said is, you built machines you don't understand, and you gave them your soul. AI social media algorithms, you don't control them, but they shape your attention, beliefs, and self-worth. You think you're expressing yourself, but you're optimizing for engagement. So that's what ChatGPT thinks of human beings.
May I just offer a real quick thought on this? So I write for a living. That's what I do. Okay. And I have used, I think, every major AI platform out there, and I currently use them. But the thing is, as wonderful a tool as they are, and they are, it is, you know, all these, they are wonderful tools, and they do make my life in many ways simpler. I never will allow AI to write for me from scratch. Because it's not really, it's lying. They have a different name for it, but it will insert random incorrect things. And I found for me that the times that I depended on it to write something or asked it to write something, I was spending more time proofing it than if I had
than actually writing it. Yeah.
So I find it very useful to take an article that I've written, and then I feed it into it. And I will say, look at this and provide me feedback, right? And it's really a very useful tool that way. But anytime you depend on it to do something like you were talking about, the date and the time of the event was incorrect. The problem is it's great until it's not. And it's not a lot. You can go on the internet and you can read all kinds of articles about lawyers that have gotten disbarred because they took their eye off the ball for just a minute and submitted a really important brief to the court. And it was at that point that the AI they were using chose to, you know, embellish. Yes. And so if the things that you're writing or the projects you're doing on it are have a direct effect on your credibility as a professional, start with your own stuff. The other thing I would say is go ahead and subscribe to the big plan. It's only $20 a month, and you can cancel anytime you want, and try and use it. And then you'll see if it has any value. I personally don't pay for ChatGPT Pro anymore. I'm currently putting my money into, and I'm not saying Gemini is the one to get, but I'm currently putting my money into Gemini because I do video as well as, you know,
VO.
And I know I have a friend who works at a major advertising firm here in Toronto. And anytime they get a new client, they type the brief, they put it into ChatGPT, and it spits out an entire marketing plan and everything. And as we know, that ChatGPT learns from, it scrapes the internet. So they type it in and it puts out a whole marketing plan, and then they do the opposite of what ChatGPT tells them to do because it's already out there and that's what it scraped. So they use it for that. They have it do a marketing plan for this new client, and then they do the opposite.
I didn't intend for the soundcheck to go into AI, but it's very interesting, and I really do mean it, Nozzle, if you're hearing.
Audio and music.
No,
that'll tie it in.
I was just trying. If Nozzle is still listening, right? I was not kidding. It's like, you know, come on, and I'm on Clubhouse. Yeah. So if you're able to provide, because he's a co-pilot
he is
pro.
Not only listening. He is not only listening; he's actively responding to some of the comments.
Can you really Nozzle? You can always come on Clubhouse. I'm right on Clubhouse.
And outside, we don't want any broken telephone. We want it.
John, I just wanted to make one recommendation.
Arthur, hang tight, Ray. Hang tight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Arthur.
No, I was just going to say that, of course. So, for those of you who know Nozzle, he's in Kuwait, and he is way past his bedtime right now. So,
but did he have any response that he typed that you think it's worth us hearing?
Nothing specific to those comments. He's really, I think, encouraged by the fact that you're going to come over and start exploring Chatter, kind of seeing what features it has now with this new version. that I've been using also, and that's
I might ask you some questions too, and then since Sean is here, I'm gonna pick his brain also because Sean also has a DLZ. So I want to pick his brain on how to route those using. What is the other software that Nozzle was using? Something wire.
It's called
something.
It's called
VB Audio.
Hold on.
VB Audio. VB Banana.
You get it. That's on a voice made of banana and voice made of potato.
Yeah, those are real names.
It's like VB Cable A, VB Cable B, or something like that.
I'm not sure if that's for Macs though.
It's only Windows. Thank God.
I downloaded it for a Mac. I have it for Mac.
You have a Mac version, so we'll talk a little bit more, find out where it is, and maybe share the link in the chat, and then we'll go to Ray to ask her question, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. Ray, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask a question. I just have a suggestion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you guys are on live, people get confused because they don't know your name. So if you say John, or
especially on audio platform,
right, you need to put
that's why they got to come to the YouTube channel.
That's why I put the YouTube link there.
It's by design.
I have to say.
Okay, and then I wanted to say one more thing about ChatGPT. I always say the tone of what I want. So I'll say I want a warm tone or a tone that sounds like a human being. So sometimes I have like a little battle with the ChatGPT because I said it sounds like a robot. I'm not a robot. So it'll rewrite it.
But
and then they say, oh, you need to upgrade. That's when they say I need to upgrade because I'll get more. So I said, I don't answer it back. I just I answer some of the questions, but I don't answer all the questions because it is a robot, and then the robot it's getting my style. So I don't want it to get my style because it can't be warm.
It's going to. So here's the thing to understand. AI is going to get your style one way or another at some point. So there's no point in being scared of that. The other thing is. It is. Honestly, it is. It is a very good thing. One of the benefits of the paid plan is that you are able to highly control the memory that it has, because you may, you take Phillip, for instance, when he was in a Sony day, all he's doing is Sony. So he can say, okay, I want to store this memory and this memory because this is often how I write. This is how and it uses that memory so that he can output content that much quicker that is on brand voice for him, and it will write more like him. But you also, one thing you will start to learn as you explore more in any AI platform is that a lot of it's in the prompting. A lot of it is in what you provide it. When I need it to write for me, I upload an entire brand voice guide, and that lays out tone, that lays out phrases and commonalities and how I write and different things. And it also explains my ideal avatar, who I'm writing to, because it can know how I write, but if it doesn't realize who I'm writing to, it's still not going to get it very well. And so a lot of this goes into prompting, and this is all stuff that you'll learn. The more you use it, the more you'll learn, the more you will find what works, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't like. I use it very similarly to Phillip. I give it a bunch of resources and I say, okay, go do this with this. This is what I need out of this. I use it for a lot of data analysis and a lot of consolidation of information. I'll feed it all the data facts and put it in there. And then you also get access to temporary mode. I use temporary mode a lot of times when I want it to not use anything based off of memory or writing styles or anything. I just need something straightforward and, quick end result. I'll use temporary mode. But there's a lot to it. I mean, go on YouTube, there's a million videos. Of course, everybody's going to have their own way of doing it. But you'll find what works for you. And you'll find which ChatGPT may not be your engine. There's a lot of people that prefer Claude, especially when it comes to writing. That's mostly what Claude has been known for historically, is writing. because
think I
of
tried
its style.
Claude, but I didn't like it. I don't know what it was.
Everybody's different. Yeah, everybody's different.
I
so
definitely did not like the Gemini.
It's changing. I mean, that's
every
the
day
thing
it's different.
Being so fast.
Yep.
So
you just got to get out there and try it.
I use it for stuff that
Thank you.
I don't really know to do that. Sometimes looking at videos, I don't really get that much answers to. So for example, trying to compare the difference between I just got into 3D printing, right? So I don't really know, and I don't want to waste money, right? So looking at the PLA versus PTG, right? Which one do I use? Which one do I buy, right? And then also, what is the right settings for my printer as per the filament that I'm buying, right? So I snapshot the slicer that I'm using, and to help me walk through to optimize and make the best out of whatever I'm doing, and to help me model stuff also. So I mean, there's always advantage to using it, and I like what you said also, Charles. It's all about the prompting too, because if you just say, hey, do this for me, that's when it's going to give you the wrong information. Sometimes that's what I realized. But when you giving it the right prompt, right, having it go to the right place, search this and do that with the right prompting, it helps a lot. And that's why I use the paid version, because sometimes I put something in it and it goes back and pulls it out of the memory bank or whatever that he has, because it's already done it for me to the point that it even knows my name, how I conclude my emails, especially if I just wanted to just reply an email for me real quick. It knows my tagline and everything already based upon using it to write emails 2 or 3 times ago. And to me, it makes life easy. And it's so scary what Sean was reading, because it was like, yep, it's so true,
And what's interesting about what he was reading was that's a very interesting point. But all AI does, I mean, it's like it has access to the world's largest database. So those points that it came up with, it's not that it came up with them; it was regurgitating it from other articles that are out there. It's not like, this is one of the things that drives me nuts. It's AI in the sense that it's marketing, in a marketing sense. It's not AI. It's artificial, but it certainly isn't intelligent. It is basically a really powerful tool with gigantic data centers and more of them coming online every day. So it's got a huge amount of processing power behind it. And that's great. But it's about as much AI as my dog is. It's a very powerful tool though, and it's getting more powerful every day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's very fluffy. It's like a fluff. It's that's how my friend called it, because I sent him something and he said I wasn't getting to the point. He said it was too fluffy. But he's a guy, so that's how guys talk. He said it was too it was too much confetti, or it was too fashion, too beautiful. It wasn't to the point. That's how he said it. He said it was too marketing. It doesn't describe something the way a human being was. And then I heard it saying, and then I'll close with this one, that the difference between an AI and a human being means human beings are always going to make a mistake. An AI is never going to make a mistake.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and that's one of the ways
the difference we're going to know the difference between human beings and an AI. Human beings are always going to make a mistake.
Which is why AI makes mistakes too.
Yeah.
Right. So the mistakes that you make, that is your style. That's who you are. So the awkwardness when I come on here, everybody's like, oh, we know that's Ray because she's always a little interrupting and a little awkward, but I never feel awkward. I think that's just my style.
That's what ChatGPT feels too. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Ray, that's a good reason why the advice you got earlier, which is use it, let it learn your style, because then it becomes a better tool for you. Just make sure that you're the final arbiter of whatever you're distributing based on its creation, regardless of what level you use it at. I mean, I use Grammarly a lot, but Grammarly while it's technically correct, it'll completely eliminate my voice for what is technically correct. So you just got to stay on top of it to make sure that the stuff that you're using.
Yeah, I do not like Grammarly at all. It gets too combatant. It gets too combatant, and it's like it fights you. And it's saying it goes this way, and it's like, no, it doesn't.
But you have the final say. You get to decide. It does not like when you're driving on with the assistance of your GPS. Like when I first started, I worked for Garmin for a short period of time, and I was using my GPS for everything. Like I go into my car, I use my what is those thing called Garmin? What is that thing called that you put in the car? There's a Nuvi. So I used to use those everywhere I go, even to work. I know exactly where I'm going. I still use it. And then my brother's like, your brain is going to go dumb if you stop thinking about where to drive to. And then when you start using it, he was so flustered by the fact that the GPS is asking him to go somewhere else and he does not want to go there. I said, you don't have to listen to it. You can still go. It's not controlling your steering wheel. Yep. It's just telling you where to go.
Not yet.
Well, speaking of controlling,
Tesla will do it, right?
Speaking of controlling, so two important things. One of these is big for creators. And let me preface this. I am not into politics at all, but this is directly related to AI and content creators. So big, beautiful bill got passed. One of the things in there was a 10-year ban on legislative in reference to AI laws. It was going to be held at the federal level. This is a big deal because a lot of people that are using AI, content creators, there was going to be one bar at the federal level. That was the only place the rulings were going to be. That got reversed, and that ban is taken away. It will now be managed at the state level. So keep an ear out. There will be AI laws being put into place within the next year at the state level. So just make sure that you're abiding by content creators, beware. And then also Cloudflare, shout out to them for content creators. They said that they are now making it to where you have to opt in for AI scraping of your website. If it is hosted or managed through Cloudflare, you now have to opt in. They're not automatically going to opt in sites like other providers. And so this way you actually have to go in and tell Cloudflare that you are okay with AI scraping your site. And that's a big deal for content creators. There's a lot of, content creators out there that's like, look, I just don't want them scraping my website. So Cloudflare is doing the best that they can to try to prevent that.
I think that ship kind of sailed though. I mean,
Yeah, for new sites, it's going to matter, moving forward, as these LLMs go out and get more recent data, so yeah.
I had to use AI to scrape through that big, beautiful bill because, I didn't have time to sit down and read everything, because I just wanted to find out what was.
They neither did Congress.
Yeah, what was it? 8 hours?
Why do you think it passed? It was so damn big. They're like, F this, we're just going to pass it.
That senator that spoke for literally
8 hours?
8 hours straight?
Yeah.
Wow. That was impressive, man.
Yeah. That's somebody who
filibuster.
But again, one thing that you realize with AI is it doesn't have critical thinking. Like when it comes to most of the stuff that you do, and you could tell because the critical thinking aspect of it when it comes to writing stuff sometimes is not there. So that's when you yourself will have to go in and naturally go fix a lot of those stuff also. And I don't speak American English, as you can tell, so I don't write American English. So
neither do I.
The AI had to learn the AI had to learn the hard way that when it comes to spelling behavior, you better put a U in it, or you gotta put color, you gotta put a U in it.
That's the right way.
Yeah, the right way.
Sorry, Arthur, I have to mute you because I think Arthur, if you're talking to us, you are, I think, Yeah, your routing. Try that again and see. Unmute yourself and then see if the routing is correct. Earlier when you started talking, it was we are hearing ourselves back to Zoom. Okay, go ahead, unmute yourself and then see if there. I'm going to ask to unmute and then see if it does that again. I'll mute you again. On Zoom.
Unmute in Zoom.
Unmute in Zoom. Yeah, I muted you in Zoom because there you go. Yeah, we still hear it. It's still.
How does that sound right now?
Testing. Check. Okay, that's good now. Okay.
1, 2.
Okay.
Cool.
Good. No, I was just saying that if you needed, I was just throwing some stupid comment, but if you need an English teacher to help you out with spelling, I got you.
What kind of spelling? American or British? Because I went to school in Africa.
You gotta go British
school.
Yeah.
So did I. I also grew up learning English.
By the way, hey, John,
yes.
Say hello to Annalie in Chatter.
Hi, Annalie.
She's there. She's in the room with me. And she also was saying, because eventually she'd like to have you, running that room from Chatter. And then, meaning not running it from there, meaning sharing the screen as you're running that Zoom call. And then you could,
so we've been exploring the Chatter Studio over on Chatter, another social app, and I haven't tried that yet because I wish I was more determined last year to get to a point where I was able to connect to Nozzle at that time in order to be able to test it. And because I missed the boat, I have to do the 7 or the 14-day trial to test out Chatter Studio. And I am just reluctant right now, especially if I only have 7 to 14 days to try it. I want to be able to use those days to try it, to actually try it. So I'm going to do that. It will be 2 weeks later because this week this week and next week is too busy for me. So I will get to it. When I get to it, I will learn more and we can discuss more effectively, and hopefully by then too, some newer features on Chatter Studio too, as I was listening.
There's a new, actually a big update that came out today. So they changed the user interface. It's much better than if you did experience it. And even in the last few days, this new version 2 has been out for, I think now just going
3
on
weeks.
the third. Yeah, this is the 3rd week. And they've got updates coming up every week. And it's pretty good. But I think they need a fair assessment, a reasonable assessment from some audio experts to see, what is it that they might still need to do. And that's where I think
I'll be super honest with you. And I think I'm going to test it, and I am not partial to Clubhouse, or I'm partial to Ecamm, but I'm not partial to Clubhouse or Chatter or any other social app. I want to learn more about it because I'm curious, right? And what I tune out of is the rah-rah, which is fine. I mean, you are entitled to do that. That's perfect. I go into the space, so I tune those out. Those are not information to me. And so, but I want to learn it, so I will go explore it. But it's just because every time I go in there, all I hear is like, oh, this is amazing, which is good. It's just not the information I need.
Your point is well taken. There's definitely a bit of rah-rah, and there's a lot of excitement around it. And it kind of is akin to the Paul and Rohan conversations, now minus Rohan, the conversations that they have in Clubhouse when, each time that they would have a town hall, Paul's going there, and now we've got this amazing new update. Now you can find that button further to the right than it was last week. It was like, okay, great. No big deal. But actually, what I've been seeing here in Chatter is markedly different from what you're seeing in other apps. And I'm not married to it. I have no financial stake in it, but I do see the monetization value. I do see a lot of additional features that allow you to connect visually. So that's there. But definitely, I think it has definitely a lot of room for improvement. And they're listening, they're learning, they're actively engaged in that process, fixing glitches, and
Yeah.
And we're just 3 weeks in. So
and like I said, I'll try it out. When I try more, when I learn more about it, I'll be able to share more of my thoughts. But one thing that I do want to share is probably Ecamm. I think even Arthur, you probably might be thinking about maybe using Ecamm inside of Chatter Studio and all that. So talking about Ecamm is something that I probably would do, and we've been exchanging messages with Clay from last week about doing like a month of more focused Ecamm conversation on here, because that's something that I think is worth discussing.
And I'm using Ecamm in Chatter. That's been what I've been using exclusively.
Yeah.
As I shared rooms and
so
there.
With that setup, I would like to lead into the conversation that we're gonna pick Sean's brain. Arthur shared the VB Audio website with us. So there is the only thing. I mean, we don't even need to use this as an example. We could use loopback as the conversation, because I think it might do the same thing, but I don't know anything about VB cable. However, if we want to have the conversation, we can just talk about virtual routing of things, and then maybe that knowledge can be applicable to this as well. Or maybe you choose to get loopback. I think loopback, I did share that with you this afternoon, Arthur, the software that I actually use. And so what I'm going to say what I think you want to do to help me process, and also get Sean updated. And then if there's anything that's incorrect or you need to add on, please let me know. So he's using Chatter Studio. With my knowledge, Chatter Studio is web-based. So it's almost like StreamYard, that you go onto a website, and then it is a two-way communication app. So he wants to route that sound in and out with Zoom. So Ecamm for Zoom specifically, but let's just say Zoom, because you can actually route that. You can change your input and output on Ecamm for Zoom yourself. So we're trying to connect the two. So essentially, it's like when we were doing, remember back then, Twitter, what is it called? Twitter, what is their audio app? Spaces. Space, yeah.
With Michael.
So with Michael. So we were doing that, and also connecting Clubhouse together. So I think the idea is the same. So if I have a RØDECaster, I would use my USB 2 and my USB 1 chat for my Zoom call, and then I'll use USB 2 for my other app. But because he has a DLZ, not a RØDECaster Duo or RØDECaster Pro, we would probably have to rely on some kind of virtual routing to do that. But before you have any answer, Arthur, anything you want to add?
Well, okay, so you generally got it right. So the way I'm running it right now, I'm basically streaming what I see from the call as simply a screen that they're watching. There's no interaction that they can have directly with us or you through that. But when I'm running it in Chatter on my own, I will go on, I can use Ecamm Live, I can have it with a Zoom call, and it's me doing it, and then I'm just able to interact directly. The thing that I was looking to do is and this is what Nozzle had discussed at one point, which was to run a room from Chatter. And so I've got Chatter Studio running on one tab of the Chrome browser, and maybe on another tab, I've got Club Deck, right? So I want to be able to run that Chatter room out of Studio, that web-based application you're talking about, and connect it virtually to Club Deck. So whatever I've got going out of Chatter goes into Club Deck. What I've got going out of Club Deck goes into Chatter. So they can hear me as I'm speaking in Chatter, and I can hear them as they're in Clubhouse, as I'm running it from Chatter. So that was the thing that we were looking to try to do, and that's when he suggested this AB cable, which many people or some people have already done. So it does work. He's done it. I haven't done it yet. But the thing that I also wanted to see if we could do was kind of running this room as you have it, this meeting, right? Running it out of either here or somewhere else.
Here's where?
Here being Chatter.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Sorry. So, thank you. All right, so running it out of Chatter and people being able to still hear you in Clubhouse, right? So you got Club Deck running. So maybe connecting whatever room you're running out of your group, your room, your audio group that you have in Chatter. You know, so they got groups in Chatter instead of houses. So you've got a group there. You can run a room out of that from Chatter, connecting to that Club Deck room that your listeners are in, right? So just basically, instead of what you've got going here, because you've got people coming in from Clubhouse into this conversation. As who is it? Was it JJ? Who was it?
Jada J?
Yeah, whoever it was coming in from Clubhouse. I mean,
you're Ray. Yeah, Ray. So essentially, it's the same setup as what I have right now. One goes into Zoom, one goes to Clubhouse.
Okay, I just haven't done it yet.
So it's two meeting apps, two-way conversation merged together, which is what we're talking about. Twitter Spaces that we used to do, and now how I'm running this along with a Zoom call along with Clubhouse. So my question, I have one more question, and maybe two, about Chatter that I do not know. When you are in Chatter, once you connect, I know you have to open the room on the phone, and then go to Chatter Studio on the web, and then you will be able to then stream stuff from the web to that room. When you start once you start Chatter Studio,
technically I'm not streaming. What I am is sharing a screen that they can see. And that is what I'm sharing. I'm sharing that screen. They will hear my voice as I'm speaking from.
So you can't choose a camera. You can only choose a window.
At this time, no. I think you could choose a camera as well.
So you could choose,
but I'm not streaming it. The streaming function is not there yet. So that is eventually what they would want to do.
So you are using the desktop sharing functionality on Chatter, the app.
Yeah.
Because I know you can already do that. So okay, so that's a distinction. But essentially, you're sending video signal, whatever you call it, So your video signal is being sent to Chatter for everybody through the web browser. And if you're able to choose a camera other than desktop, or does it have to be screen sharing? If you can choose a camera, just your face, can you do that? If you don't want to stream everybody else, can you choose your camera?
Yeah, absolutely. But I just happen to be running it through Ecamm Live
if you use Ecamm, you can choose the camera as your Ecamm virtual output. Then it will be whatever your Ecamm signal is. And then secondly, when you talk, once you do take over on your studio, oh my gosh, sorry. I need to turn that thing.
John, no. You got to do that every time somebody has a birthday that week. You got to do that.
Oh gosh, I should probably turn that off. I used to want to turn that on, and I couldn't get it to turn on. Now it won't turn off. So my question, Arthur, is once you take over using Chatter Studio, does all your sound, your voice going into the room also comes from your Chatter Studio web browser thing? Does it come from there? Do you then stop using your phone app?
Yeah, well, yeah, my phone, so the reason I use the phone is simply to open the room, and then I'm really running it from the other account, which is the same account using on the web. Your question is
so when you start the room, so the audio would then be coming in and out from Chatter Studio on the web. But you no longer rely on your phone to talk?
I'm not using the phone at all except to open the room. Everything is coming out.
Okay, so that's good.
Connected to my mixer, including my microphone and my music. My music goes into my mixer.
So then it's exactly the same. So it's exactly the same as, I think we just need to route the two. So treat that as a StreamYard. You can treat the Chatter Studio as StreamYard. And then the same thing will need to be connected to, I guess for your case, it would be, instead of your phone, it would be Club Deck.
Yeah.
So one piece of advice here, in my extensive experience doing this, Club Deck is notoriously unreliable.
Glitchy. Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's stable and people are like, yeah, okay, it's cool. But then one day you'll start it up and it'll
all
go
the
to your
settings
default
change.
sound card again.
The only driving factor here that we want to do this for is to start bringing a large number of people in our communities who are still there.
In Clubhouse.
No. That's fine. I was just saying, if you can, and in my experience, this is what we did with Twitter and with Club Deck. I stopped using it and I had had multiple devices. So I had an iPhone that was Clubhouse, and that's what John's doing. And then the audio going back and forth from that one device. So then on your computer, you got Chatter Studio and all that, and it's not like Club Deck and Chat, because Club Deck is notorious for always being the culprit for something going weird.
And let me add to that, because since I started Learner to Learner, I have been using mostly Club Deck to, when I need to show Clubhouse, it's Club Deck, right? Like this screen right here is Club Deck.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the phone. Oh my.
No,
gosh.
this is Club Deck, but I'm only using this for visuals. So all the sound is still from the phone. So
there you go.
So I guess, and another way of putting it is, out there, if you're going to use Club Deck, just know that every time you launch Club Deck, your Club Deck sound settings, input and output will change. It will change it back to like the default. And sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. So every time I start, I create an empty audio channel, because I have so many inputs and outputs that I just create one that's very simple. I just call it Club Deck empty. And so I just choose my input and output, call it empty, because no sound's going to go in, no sound's going to come out of it, because I rely on my phone to do that. And the reason why I do that is for folks' audio sound quality, because Club Deck always turned the whole musician mode. It will go into mono. And then so you don't hear, I need to hear stereo to Soundcheck for people sometimes. So with that said, let's say he's going to use Club Deck, and we need to connect the two, Club Deck and Chatter Studio. Think of Chatter Studio, like I said, as a StreamYard, because it has its own input and output. What kind of virtual channels does he need to set up to route sound from one app to the other, and also create mix minus for each app?
So, John, before somebody answers that, right, I just want to ask a question real quick. So with the Ecamm, like the Pro version, you have a virtual microphone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you use the virtual microphone into Chatter Studios?
Yes.
And you don't have to get a VB cable.
You can. Well, that one way, yes, but not two ways. So you can't hear Chatter people in Chatter. People in Chatter, not Chatter. So Chatter Studio is the web part. So we want to be able to hear people in Chatter talking back to us. You can send what is from your Ecamm out to Chatter, but you can't hear, like the Zoom app can't hear Chatter people.
So wouldn't you have to go into the Chatter app or whatever you're using, whether on the web browser, to select a different output?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't. So you're flexible.
There is a couple of settings that we can adjust within
the main thing you need is the input and output, which you do have. the speaker and then the microphone?
To me, before somebody answers that, I do think the most easiest way and the most simplest
to get
way,
a RØDECaster Pro 2.
that also.
Well,
but
the DLZ will do it. The DLZ will do it.
Yeah, because I know. But then also, if you want to be complicated like John Ong, just use Rogue Amoeba's software.
Loopback, yes.
So Loopback, I think is way better than
which we can. I mean, it's still a possibility. I think let's just talk about it principally. How are you virtually routing those? The simplicity with the RØDECaster Duo and RØDECaster Pro 2 is because it comes with 2 USB connections, and therefore you are able to do that without using Loopback or any sort of virtual routing. That's a simplicity. But let's talk about how you do it if you were to have a regular mixer.
In the tab that I have the Chatter Studio running, and as I have it running within that app, there's a settings button, and in that...
Can you share the screen?
Yeah.
On eCam?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing too.
Hey, John, I'll see you guys next week. I have my questions ready.
Bye, Ray. I think I'm still hearing like a I'm still hearing
that's author.
Yeah, Arthur's setting is obviously still. Wait. Oh, okay. Screen sharing. I'm starting seeing it. Hang on.
He started screen sharing, but where? Oh, okay.
I'm
it's
gonna
a different tab.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
He started screen sharing, but where?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a different tab.
Oh my gosh.
That's driving me nuts.
We might have to. Arthur, can you check and see why we're hearing like a slapback on there? Okay, we're gonna keep our mouth
screen
shut.
sharing with the audio. That's why.
Okay, do you see this?
He has 17 tabs open.
Okay, let's not talk and let him talk so we don't hear the slapback, and then we let him go through the settings that we can.
I did count.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see this settings here? When I click on this right here, there's settings, and here you can select one of these. So I have these installed already. I just haven't done it. So as Nozzle was describing it to me, I would have, say, one for, say, the microphone. So obviously that'd be coming in. And so I'd have VB cable B going to the microphone, right? So that's going in. And then for the out, I would have going to A, right? And it would be the reversed. It would be the reverse in the other app, say Club Deck, in which case I would have that instead of the microphone being I don't know why it went back to Ecamm Virtual, but anyway, instead of it being B in, it would be B out.
Flip. Yeah,
just flip.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, I think, and because Nozzle's setup, we also don't know exactly what his setup is. Yesterday when I heard him talk, it's let's talk principally. How do you want to route this first? So we're not just copying a setup that he's using because there are other variables. Plus, he's also on Windows.
That'll help more people if we talk about the philosophy of it.
Okay, all right, cool.
So Arthur, you saw me shaking my head and doing a big X, right? so principally, and this is virtually for everyone, your central unit, the place where everything comes from, is the DLZ, correct?
Yeah.
So your mic goes in there. You want all the inputs. You want everything going into it.
Yeah.
Right. So if we simplify everything and say, Arthur, you're on your mic, you're on your DLZ, and we're in Zoom right now. So how's that all working? Well, you talk into the mic, it goes into the DLZ, you pick the DLZ and Zoom as the input, and then you pick the DLZ as the output, you plug in your headphones to your DLZ. That's straightforward, right? Easy to understand.
And so here's another thing. This is also another reason why we cannot just copy Nozzle's setup, because he does not have a mixer. And you do.
Right. So the theory of it is whoever's listening to this and who wants to set this up, you have a mic, it's plugged into an interface, your audio goes in, you put headphones on, and you hear stuff back from it. That's the very bare bones. We have signal goes in, signal comes out, I hear it, then we'll open up software. So let's just use Zoom as an example. So now we open up Zoom like you were doing there, Arthur, and you go, where is my sound, my input, where is it coming from? Well, we pick DLZ mic, right? And then where's it coming out of? So I can hear people in Zoom. Well, it's coming out of my DLZ as well. So let me just plug it in, and that's very simple, whether you have a Focusrite or whatever. So sound goes into it, sound comes out so you can hear, and then people hear you. So at a very basic level now, that's where you want. You want to have, when you speak, your sound goes somewhere. And then, in this case, Zoom will hear you, and then the output is just for you to hear people in Zoom. So that's, again, the basic. But now we're going to start expanding that, because now you're adding in other things. So now let's say we add another bit of software. So let's say it's Clubhouse, Club Deck, even though you shouldn't use it, but just as an example now.
Stop it.
So now you're talking into your mic. It's going into your, I'll stop saying DLZ. People are like, what the hell is he talking about? It's going into your mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Or your interface. And then it's going into Zoom. But we need that same exact copy of that to go as an input to Club Deck as well.
Yeah.
Right? So we're splitting that signal. And then if you're going to go to Chatter, well, we need to make 2 copies of that.
I guess when you're doing this, right, Arthur, we're not thinking about going to 3 places. We're thinking about going to 2. You're going to do Clubhouse and Chatter, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's use that as an example.
So theoretically, then we have your input, which is going into your mixer, and now we need to send that to 2 other places at the same time.
Yeah,
right.
Theoretically, right? And then,
I understand the route through which it's getting to Chatter. That to me is clear.
But not yet.
Well, let's not even talk about
that.
Not
yet.
Okay. Now it's just coming into my computer. Okay.
Yeah, because for people signing this up, and we actually did do this, John, you can find that episode where we did
the little
boxes
chart.
and lines and signal flow, because that's the ultimate thing. And I use my bucket analogy, right? So you're talking to your mic, and it's going to go into this bucket of sound, and then we're going to pull from it 2 times. It's going to go to Chatter, and it's going to go to Club Deck. So at the simplest form, it was just one thing, but now we got our bucket where you're talking, and then we're piping it to 2 different places. So now that's going into those 2 places. But now those 2 people, Chatter and Club Deck, can hear you talk when you talk. Okay? So now in those 2 places, the outputs of those you need to pick so you can hear people talking. So in that case, remember now how we expanded the first example. The first example was you talk and then you listen to people. So now the second example is you're still talking, but we're piping it to 2 different places. But then those 2 places you need a return signal so you can hear what the people are saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I knew John would do this.
No,
I heard a diagram being thought through, and
do you want to draw it? Do you want to visually draw it too? Can you do? I think everybody can contribute, right?
Oh yeah. Oh sweet.
Okay, so I am just, what I'm doing is, I don't know if I can actually see.
How do I erase this? And actually,
clear.
Oh, maybe the eraser. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I'm able to even show this. I will have to. Nobody does anything silly while I do this. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna find ways to show this as you explain. Oh wait, all you see is black.
Or actually, you know what? You draw it here. I'm gonna erase it. Erase what I did here. You
wait,
draw
I
it.
Draw it.
Okay. Yeah, because on my pad, that looked horrible.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm on my pad. I don't have a pencil, so.
Okay. All right. So if I understand it, let me see if I can get to it first.
So we need a vocal audio bucket. It can be a square.
Nee, do you want to do it? Nee? Okay, Nee, do it. Nee's doing it. But I need to figure out how to show. I think I have to come over here and I got to do a view live demo mode. Are you guys seeing this already or no?
Okay. Yeah, this is okay, I'll do it. Oh.
Somebody draw something.
Oh no. Okay, here we go. We got shapes. Okay.
Wait, you guys are seeing this, right? On YouTube, are you guys seeing the whiteboard? Okay, you are. Okay.
I'm curious if I draw a circle, is that showing up?
Yes.
Or is that
It looks like it's showing up.
Oh, it's showing up. Where are the shapes? I need
shapes. Okay, here. Let me draw. You tell me what to do, and I will. So here's a bucket.
Perfect. Yeah, get rid of it.
And I'll you tell me what to draw.
Okay, so in the middle of that, maybe bring it down a bit in the center. So write the name of that. Just write that vocal.
We'll
mic.
call it vocal
mic. Yeah.
Vocal mic. Okay.
Oh, this is looking so much neater because then John will print this out for people. Okay, so then, sorry, no, rename that. That's the audio
mixer?
bucket.
What's the audio?
Audio bucket.
Bucket?
Yes.
Okay.
So then on another little square somewhere will be the vocal mic, and we're going to put an arrow going into the bucket.
Okay, let me see if I can copy and paste it and
and
call it what?
That's your vocal mic.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then it is going to be inside?
No. Well, there's an arrow with signal flow going into the bucket.
Okay. You're making me do real work. Where's the arrow? Is this arrow? No, this is upload. Where's the arrow? Shapes. Okay, arrow pointing that direction. I think there's like a better arrow, but I don't know how to use it. Does anybody else know? Okay, all right. Then
I was just going to do a line, but it's the other way.
Oh, yes, correct. How do you rotate this? I think there's a better arrow sign. Anyway, if you know the arrow, do the arrow knee. Where do you do the arrow?
So
signal flow going into the audio bucket. I know there's an. It's line. It's line. There you go. Audio. Okay, there.
Okay, so just to be more correct, let's put another box and another arrow in between the vocal mic. So we'll put call it audio interface / mixer.
Oh, like
so
this?
It's the vocal mic will go into that and then into the bucket, just so we can get it.
Oh, okay. So actually, you don't want that there. You want an
put another box where that arrow is. Yeah. Just
now it's connected. Okay, and then I will create another box.
And then we're going to name that audio interface / mixer. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Let me fix this not connected to this. It's connected to that. And then another arrow would connect from here to here. There you go. Clap for me.
Wow. That's really good.
Okay, then.
Okay, so then we need another arrow coming from the mixer, kind of going out, and then
up to different something, right?
Yeah. So in this
from the mixer, it's gonna go somewhere else.
So let's. Was it Ecamm or Zoom? What are we gonna call that?
Let's just do a Zoom. Yeah, because it's technically Zoom.
Yeah. So put a Zoom there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just processing the video through Ecamm to Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have to differentiate this because that aside from the audio bucket, that's kind of my base. So it's vocal, mixer, Zoom, right? But we're going to move that Zoom eventually, right? So it's going to be disconnected from here. But for those watching, this was my baseline setup that I was talking about. So it's the vocal mic goes into mixer, goes into Zoom.
Mixer.
So the audio bucket is the next step, but that maybe you can, I don't know what you can do, but those three on the right are like the basic thing, right?
Okay.
So above the vocal mic, or maybe below the vocal mic, we're going to put headphones, listener headphones, or host headphones or something. So that would be us, our hearing stuff, right? Maybe go above because we have to connect Zoom to it too.
So this is headphones?
Yeah, but don't connect it to vocal mic. Okay. So now we need to connect the headphones
to Zoom. No, Zoom to headphones.
Technically, it's
mixer
connected
to
the mixer. Right. It's technically connected to the mixer.
Way. Guys, you never know what to expect when you tune into Learners.
Okay. Now we need to put another arrow the opposite way from Zoom to mixer.
Zoom to mixer. Okay. All right. I love this. I'm glad I found this proper arrow tool. Okay. All right. Like that.
Perfect. Okay. So if we ignore the audio bucket box right now, this is the base that I was talking about. So you talk, it goes in the mixer, Zoom hears you. People in Zoom are talking, it goes into your mixer and then into your headphones and you hear them talking. Okay, so ignore the audio bucket. So this is just basic how everything works. Or can we make a copy of this and then start doing the audio bucket? Like have this be the basic one? Am I asking too much?
Let me see if I can no, I can copy and paste, I'm sure.
Yeah, and just put it up in the corner and then delete the audio bucket from it. So that's our baseline.
Okay, so we'll so this is the baseline. I'll just tuck this away somewhere.
Yeah, but delete the audio bucket in the baseline because it's not part of it.
Like that.
Okay, so that's our basic signal flow. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to disconnect the two Zoom arrows. Okay. So we're still good here. So now we need to, what were the connections? We're doing Zoom, Chatter, and...
Zoom and Chatter. Just it.
Okay, so just make another box with Chatter. Like above there.
Above or down?
Well, put it beside Zoom. Yeah, and call that Chatter.
Where does Club Deck come in? Or is that separate?
Oh wait, Zoom.
So
I guess you don't need Zoom, so it's just Chatter.
Yeah, and then rename the other one Club Deck.
This is actually Ecamm's. Chatter is. Wait. So let's pretend.
The Zoom and what I'm using on Ecamm is going straight into Chatter, right?
Yeah. So whatever you are using to Chatter, it just goes through. What goes through Chatter just goes through Ecamm because Ecamm is like you just bypass through Ecamm.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay. No, it's different because.
But ultimately, what we want is to be able to have people in Club Deck and Chatter.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not
and hear each other.
You're right. So we're not there yet. We just need to go.
Okay.
Expanding from the baseline now, where the copy's going.
Okay. So I think he needs. So if you do Ecamm, Club Deck.
Okay. So there's one.
And then.
So when he talks, they hear him. Okay, Club Deck, and then where else is his voice going?
Club Deck and so I think
is it Chatter? Is it Ecamm? Is it
Zoom? Let's not use Ecamm yet because Ecamm does not Eastcam is just visual. Right now, we're only talking about audio.
Yeah.
So let's just do Chatter and Club Deck. So Club Deck would replace. I mean, Chatter essentially is our Zoom, or vice versa. So these are the two.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So now we're going to take an arrow from the audio bucket. One goes to Chatter, one goes to Club Deck.
Audio bucket, one goes to Chatter. Okay, this is your virtual mixing buckets here.
Yeah.
Okay, so one would go to Chatter, one would go to Club Deck. Let me organize this a little bit better that way. Okay. All right.
Okay, so in the audio bucket, if you could add under the title, put audio bucket and then put vocal mic or mic input or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Just so we know. Okay. So this is where we got to before we started doing, when I was just saying it. But hopefully this is pretty straightforward as far as and the audio bucket would be, in my case, it would be the loop back or whatever, the virtual place. So whether you're using the virtual software or whatever, we need to send your vocal into here, and then the virtual thing, whether it's in my case loopback, hint, or another one, that virtual thing is what does the copying and what sends it out, right? So this could be either loopback or the VB, the virtual, whatever. But so that's great, John, there. So now it's sending the signal out. And what has to happen now, in this case, is we're going to make another bucket, John, which will be an audio bucket for audio coming out of places.
Another bucket?
For output. Call it an output bucket.
This is also virtual.
Yes.
Okay.
Now you'll have to maybe maneuver that box or maybe put it on top of those two, or I don't know. But now you're going to take an arrow from Chatter and Club Deck, and they're going to go into that output virtual box.
Okay.
However you want to have that work.
Let's see. We'll go here, and then I
don't know how that's going to work.
I can route that from here.
John, it's better to put the output bucket on top of them.
Well, as long as John will figure it out.
I have to do a little gymnastic, but I'm figuring it out.
We shouldn't have lines crossing.
Oh, you shouldn't have line crossing?
Nope.
Why? Because you get interference?
That, and it's starting to look like an electrical schematic with grounding and...
How about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That works great. Good job.
And then?
We still might have to move stuff around.
That's okay.
So,
because I can move this thing, it's gonna move with me.
Oh, perfect.
But but I heard Glenn said this it would be better if this is up here. Like up here.
I mean, as long as you can
higher above Chattering Club Deck.
Like here, like up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well now that's crossing lines again, but
it's okay, I'll fix it.
But once we do the other part, you might have to move it. But hopefully this is making sense to people. So
I'll move it later. Okay.
We're taking.
So these two are virtual. These two, we're creating a virtual input and output. So so these buckets, what he's calling the bucket, is the virtual channel.
It's the virtual cable.
Yeah. Let me see if I can change the color.
It's the place where the signal just sits, and then we're going to pull signals from there.
Okay.
Okay, so how's this looking for everybody? Is it pretty straightforward at the moment? So instead of going directly to the software, we're going into the virtual place so the signal can get pulled by multiple places.
Okay. Now?
So what you would have currently, before we go any further, is Avatar talks into the mic, and then the people in Club Deck hear him, and then the people in Chatter hear him. Right?
Yes. This mic come in, go into this pool, it goes to Club Deck, it goes to Chatter.
Okay. So now somebody in Club Deck starts speaking, and then that output audio goes into the output bucket. But he doesn't hear it.
Right, because he's hearing it right here. So it needs to somehow go back to the mixer.
Correct. So we need to draw an arrow from the bucket.
From the output bucket to the mixer.
Correct.
To the mixer here. And then I will create 2. This is kind of fun, actually. I hope it's not too boring, you guys.
I'm just trying to figure out, like...
We're not there. Just
okay.
You're going way ahead and you're missing this.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
So this is just it has to go in this step so you don't get confused, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what's going to happen now? So Author is set up. He talks into his mic. He's got Club Deck open. He's got Chatter open. So when Author speaks... the people in Chatter hear him, and the people in Club Deck hear him at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then if somebody in Chatter starts talking, Author will hear them.
Yeah.
And if somebody in Club Deck starts talking at the same time, even he'll hear them both in his headphones.
Do we need to have? Don't we need 2 separate buckets? Of output?
No, because if somebody in Chatter speaks, he hears them. And if somebody in Club Deck speaks, he
also
hears
hear
them.
Okay, got it.
Right? So it's pulling from the one pool because they're all going to one pool.
Okay.
We don't have to do separate. That's one of the mistakes most people make when they're doing this. And that's what gets them confused. Is you need to send the outputs of each separate one to one.
That's what I
place.
did. Remember, I did my really complicated. I still have that beautiful chart right there somewhere. Okay, so now, okay, so we'll continue. So now he can hear Club Deck and Chatter people in his headphones,
and they can hear him.
Yeah, and they can hear him. So when he speaks, it goes.
So
to
now here's where the next part is happening, right, Author? And that's is what you're referring to, is we need the Chatter people to hear the Club Deck people, and we need the Club Deck people to hear the Chatter people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would that work, do you think?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the pro. I'm the flowchart.
So far, I'm following along with the flowchart, and it makes sense. I know what you said, and I totally agree with you. I was jumping ahead, but I'm trying to think. This is
critical, though. You need to understand this part first, because the next step is the leap and the shit show.
Yes.
Okay.
Mix minus.
Right. Okay. So now, if somebody speaks in Chatter, that output is going to this virtual routing software, right? And then it's going to your headphones.
But it's Club Deck people can't hear Chatter people yet.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
But we want it to just people understand the concept here. So now, this is where the fun's going to happen, because this is why I encourage people, if you can, more often than not, you want to use like an extra iPhone or an extra device and have multiple devices, because it's just easier to understand. So now, conceptually, if we're looking at this now, if people are speaking out of Chatter, how are we going to get it to Club Deck? keeping in mind now that the output of chatter is already going into this output bucket. So it's already selected and it's already going there. So how are we going to get it to the output of chatter to go to the input of Club Deck?
Mm-hmm.
How would we do that?
So that's where that virtual cable comes in, right?
No, we're already using 2 virtual cables in this setup right now. The 2 red boxes are the virtual cables, right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is why I'm lingering on here right now, because I want everyone to understand this part cold. Because if you don't, the next stuff is where all the confusion comes in. So right now you're able to speak to 2 places simultaneously, and you're able to hear them both in your headphones simultaneously.
Yes. I see how they come back through the mixer, and I can hear it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So now how are we going to get...
But I don't know how they are hearing each other, because they're not.
Well, they're not
yet.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, so let's just, let's go with Club Deck first.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the output is selected. So whatever you want to name your virtual output. So when you go into Club Deck and you go to the settings, you're going to pick, whatever you named virtual output, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Where?
So the output.
The
of
virtual
Club
output
Deck
is this one.
Right. But in whatever software, whether you're using the VBM or Loopback,
it'll have that as one of the options to select.
You're going to have to pick that. Let's give it a name, John. The virtual output. Call it
this box right here.
Yeah, call it something.
That's why I'm figuring out if we need to have 2, one for chatter output and one for Club Deck output.
Well, no, you have to just give it a name, because I want to make sure just give it a name. Okay, output 1. Yeah, just call it output 1.
What kind of Club Deck output?
No.
It can't be, because both of them are sharing it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
then we
output
would go into Club Deck, and then the other one should be input 1. Just name it input 1.
Okay.
So now we're just still on this scenario. We're not having them talk to each other yet.
Yeah.
But I just want everybody to understand this. So then we would go into Club Deck options, and it would say output, and then you would pick output 1, right? Which we named there. But output 1 is a bucket containing multiple sound outputs, right? And then we go into chatter, and on the output of chatter we would pick
choose output 1. So let's say this is like your wire A or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to name it. And in chatter, in the input, we would pick input 1. And then in Club Deck, in the input, we would pick input 1.
Okay.
So that's for this scenario right now.
And just for your voice. We still need Club Deck.
So this is just for your voice and for you to hear the 2 software separately. Right?
So the 2 arrows, one arrow coming out of chatter to output 1, one coming out of Club Deck to output 1. Mm-hmm. Those are basically the same setting. It's
you're
within
picking,
each of the.
You're picking the same output for both.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm selecting the same item for both of them for the output
and the input.
Well, eventually the input won't be.
Oh yeah. Okay, so both the input and output will be the same.
Well, no, there won't be the same. So chatter and Club Deck outputs the same. Chatter and Club Deck inputs are another name called input 1 and 2, but they're the same as well.
Okay.
Right? Because the audio is going into there, and then we're splitting it off twice. We're splitting the input out twice, and then we're splitting the output from the other output bucket out twice.
Okay, you got to keep going. My brain is hanging on.
Okay, for everybody, I was able to get a microphone working through my RØDECaster.
Oh, yay! Wait, and then what about the stereo? What about? Did you get stereo?
Yeah, we'll take a break.
Yeah, it's coming out of both sides.
What was the issue earlier? Did you not plug it in all the way?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, at least.
Well, it's a technical audio term. You just wiggle the cable.
Actually, I went to the headphones. You suggested the Sonys that I was using.
Oh, see, don't put another variable.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And my second question is, when is this product that you guys are mapping out coming to market?
It's already there. We just need to learn how to use it.
Yeah, it's called a Rogue Amiga Loopback.
Rogue Amiga Loopback. I'll show. But anyway, so let's keep going. My brain is hanging on by a thread.
John, just before we start again, can you please correct the spelling of mixer? It's driving me crazy.
Where is it?
Oh my God.
Where was it?
It totally is. There's no I. Mixer.
There you go. Now you can sleep, Glenn.
Wow. You know what? That was bugging me. I just didn't notice.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, quick. Let's go back to, how do we do the mix minus? I think this needs to split into two, right?
Okay,
No.
well, we're not even there yet. Again, I want to just make sure everybody understands.
Yes, we got it. We spend 20 minutes on this part. Let's move on to the next one before my brain stops working. Then?
Okay. So now we need the output. So just theoretically right now, don't draw anything yet. So we want the output of Club Deck to go to two places.
Okay.
Right? It needs to go where it's going right now.
And it needs to go to Chatter. Oh, to go to the input.
No.
Input.
No, we're just talking about Club Deck. So we have the output going to output 1 bucket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we need that output to go to Chatter as well.
Yes.
From Club Deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So
don't worry about how I would draw this. You just tell me and then I'll make it work. So okay. I feel like this is what needs to go back into Club Deck, but minus Club Deck.
No. So we're based on this concept, and I will get the answer right after we're going to explain this again. So you see input 1 and output 1. We have sound coming in there, and those two red boxes are what distribute sound to multiple places.
Yes.
So in this case, we're distributing we're getting multiple inputs into it, and then it's going to one place to the mixer. With that input, it's getting one input, but then it's distributing to multiple places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's just that concept of audio going somewhere and staying there, and then we're just sending it to multiple places. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to take the output of Club Deck.
From here or from this bucket? Or from this?
We need
a second out.
Yeah, and we're going to change things around, but conceptually, I just want people to understand what's going to happen here. So, no, get rid of that arrow.
Come on, we don't have all night. Go, quick.
Okay, so what I want you to do is the arrow that's going to the output of audio output 1
from Chatter.
Okay, let's just put the Club Deck output. Okay, so we're going to put another box above that, and we're just going to call that Club Deck out and unconnect it from the output 1.
Okay, so we're going to create a box here and call it Club Deck output. What is it?
Yeah.
Club Deck output or output 1? It is specifically for Club Deck, right?
Yeah, Club Deck output.
Okay. Is it here?
Unconnect it from output 1.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
Tell me what. Finish your unconnect, then what?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so back to the concept of we need this to go to multiple places, right? So here's the problem now, though. We have the output of Club Deck going into this bucket, but where does it need to go? It needs to go to two places, right?
It needs to go to
both output 1 and chatter.
Correct. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay. But the input of chatter right now is coming from where?
Mixer.
From that
input 1.
Right. So we need to disconnect that. Okay. So again, we have this Club Deck output bucket, and it needs to go to two places.
Do you want me to plot that?
So that one, we're going to put one arrow going to output 1, and then another arrow going to chatter.
Okay. I'm going to cross it. I don't care about you.
No, if you cross it, it's going to confuse people.
You already confused people right now. So.
No. Go on the other side, and you can see how you can just make a little right angle and go straight on the other side of the box. So you can just go like this instead of the left side.
Oh, you want me to go from here, like this side?
Right. Yeah. Go on the other side, and then it won't cross anything. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's confused by that crossing the line.
Trust me, it does. People turn their brain off because they're seeing.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
It's kind of crooked.
Don't worry about the crookedness. I will fix it. You just keep thinking about the routing.
Okay, so now and then we need another arrow from Club Deck output to the input of chatter.
You need another output from Club Deck output to chatter to here?
No. You drew the arrow wrong. Sorry, my friend. The Club Deck output needs to go right to chatter, not to input 1. I don't know why you did that.
That one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could be a short line down here.
Yeah, just do that one. Do a short line.
Like that.
Okay. So
that was easy.
So we're just going baby steps now because it's going to start getting really weird. Okay, so
you already did. It's okay.
So as this currently is,
yeah,
Athar talks into the mic, goes into the mixer, goes into the virtual input, and then the people in Club Deck hear him, right? So just follow along. He talks, goes into virtual, goes into Club Deck, and then people in Club Deck hear him talking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
he still can't hear Club Deck people talking.
He can't hear Club Deck yet.
Yeah.
But what's happening now is he talks, Club Deck hears him.
Yes.
And people in chatter hear him.
Yes. People in chatter can hear.
The people in chatter will hear
Author and Club Deck.
Exactly. They will hear anybody in Club Deck in the room. If they're talking, the people in chatter will hear.
Yeah.
And they'll hear him talking too.
This better have a good ending.
Well, it won't be an ending. It'll just be end of work.
Okay.
But we got to follow the signal flow.
Yes. Yes. So chatter now can hear both Author and Club Deck, but Author cannot hear.
So now we just put back the line we erased. We move it. So now Club Deck output is going to go to the output 1 as well.
Okay. You made me take that off, and then now
yeah, well, I want people to you have to understand like in certain order. So, no, not output 1.
Oh, output,
not input.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that Author can hear them.
Right.
Them.
So once we do this, he will hear people in Club Deck.
Okay. Okay.
We shouldn't be touching that. Just make it. There we go. Right angles are good. Okay.
I think we have more problems than touching lines. Other than interference. Don't cross your cables.
Do not cross your cables. So he speaks.
Actually, 90 degrees crossing is good. Better than parallel. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Anyway, go back, sorry.
Right, because you want to go out of phase so you don't get any hum. So
shiny object.
He talks, it goes into the virtual. Virtual sends his voice to Club Deck. People in Club Deck hear him.
Mm-hmm. Now we need
the
to do
output
the
of
same
Club
thing.
Deck goes to Chatter, so they hear people talking in Club Deck, and then they hear him talking. Right? Then, if somebody's talking in Club Deck, we made a copy of that, so he hears the people talking in Club Deck as well. So let's erase the chatter to output 1 arrow. We don't need that anymore. We're going to change something here. Okay. So again, people in Club Deck hear him speak. People in Chatter hear him speak, and they hear
Club Deck people.
And they hear Club Deck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And he's going to hear the people in Club Deck.
Yes,
and
himself. Yes.
Okay. So now we make another virtual bucket, and we call that chatter output.
Chatter output. Oh, good Lord. Chatter output, it's going to be coming out from chatter. So I'll just put it here.
So you got to put 1 arrow to output 1 from there, and the other arrow is going to Club Deck. Well, actually, no. We need an arrow. So we have to go from chatter to the chatter output. You know, a mini arrow there.
Chatter output needs to go to Club Deck?
No. Chatter to chatter output.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Here to here. Yes. And then that input needs to go back into chatter. Like if this goes into Club Deck, doesn't this? Oh no, we need a different input.
No. You're right. So put that connection back. I just wanted to do things in an order so people don't get confused. Yeah. So now the people in chatter will hear him talk.
Yeah.
And the people in Club Deck hear him talk. People in chatter are hearing Club Deck. And now we're going to draw an arrow
back to here.
Arrow to output 1. So now he hears the people in chatter.
Yeah.
And we're going to cross lines now. This is pissing me off.
Don't worry. You can be pissed. And so,
okay, so now we got to go. So the chatter output's going to 2 places, right? Just like the Club Deck output. So now the other arrow is going to go chatter output to Club Deck.
And then chatter output to Club Deck. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't. Yes.
You're good.
It's fine. It's
not as bad as Mixer without an I, but
no, it's not without an I. It's an I in the wrong place. Yeah. It's a Messier. Okay. Oh, wait.
I managed to compare my Rode Interview Pro to the Procaster or the RØDECaster Pro 2. End of update.
At least you are you're being productive. Okay, so chatter output now going back to Club Deck. So Club Deck now can hear chatter, and also since it's coming from here also. Can you guys see my cursor? I don't know if I'm.
It says your name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that, but I think on the feed, so you can also hear your voice.
Because so he talks. It goes into that virtual bucket.
When he come
Club
in twice,
Deck hears him. Hold on. Club Deck hears him. Chatter hears him. Okay. then Club Deck goes into chatter and then goes into his headphones. Right? Then where chatter's going to his headphones and then into Club Deck. So conceptually, macro, this is the signal flow. We're not even talking about mix minus yet. We just need everyone to understand where's the signal going, where's it coming, how's it working.
Okay.
Right. So questions right now, just on how where everything's going and coming from.
So it's going to be a couple of these arrows are going to have a different color or something for mix.
Yeah, I can do that. Yes.
Right? Is that what's going on?
Well, we're not there again.
Because it's going to be coming back to me, but I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but again, I'm talking about what we're at now, not in the future.
So what we've been doing up to this point is to show what we wanted to do. It hasn't shown how we're going to do it yet.
Right. And most people always make mistakes when they're thinking 3 steps ahead and they think they understand this and then they get confused.
So let's play with this. So vocal mic going to mixer. Mixer is going to input 1. Input 1 is being fed to both Club Deck and chatter.
Hold on before input 1 is a virtual cable. Maybe we can rename it virtual cable.
Virtual input.
But it says there. So I just want people to understand. We're not talking about input 1 on the mixer.
VB
Whatever it is. But we don't want people to confuse that.
Let's not call it VB cable A yet, because I think you only have A and B. And
you're obviously going to need more than 2, right, Arthur? Which is why you should get loopback.
So... because here's the reason why it is let me turn this thing off. Here's the reason why it is not working the same for you, Arthur, as compared to Nozzles, because his is only routing on the computer. So it's simpler. Yeah. Right? The source is all on the computer. So it's a little simpler that way. And it is not as simple when you have a mixer in the mix. No pun intended.
But it is more stable. Having the more analog stuff you have, the stabler it is. But
okay, so do we have to come back next week too?
Well, we're definitely going to have a part 2. Because this is
stay tuned for the next episode.
I will, which I don't mind, because my brain can only take this much. But I will do a screen share.
I mean, can we? Yeah, if we can.
Yeah, I can share.
So if you go to the top left and that was our foundation, our simple, right? Just boom.
This is for one app.
In and out, one thing. And then you can see how we expanded it.
Yeah.
And we'll take this chart. I think, can you all access this whiteboard after the meeting ends? I am not sure actually. But at least do a screenshot. I will share this like a PDF or something to you all. Okay, I'll put it up. Do a screen share. Do a screenshot.
The base one in the top left. Maybe move that over a bit, just so people will leave it there, but just move it over, because if it's too close, and people will be like, "Well, what the hell is that?"
Well, people
just move it over a bit.
People will be the people here. So I'll do a screenshot now so that you have this. Let me zoom in a little tighter, maybe.
So this is just like the baseline concept of the signal flow.
This is signal flow of what we want to create, but how we'll come back next week.
Right, because as people are anticipating,
I will think through it too.
There are going to be mix minus problems, but we will figure that out, and it's very easy to fix.
Everybody did the screenshot? I can do share.
If you don't understand the base level signal flow, then you get into problems.
I might be able to share that with you all, but I don't want to do it live. I'll do it once I take this off, so I can see if I can share this with everybody. But this is good practice because every time it comes back to this, my brain gets very foggy and confused. So as you can see, you have to think through all the process. So we're going to take this as our assignment, and then sorry, I have my asthma kicking in. because I was thinking so hard. My asthma is kicking in. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll take this as our homework assignment and think how we can even use, if you have Club Deck, use Club Deck. If you have virtual AB cable, use that and see if we can get it to work, apply how you want to route things. I think I can do it better if I test it.
It's going to completely depend on, your equipment, your computer, how many things you want to multiply and do and all that.
But do you think he needs more than just 2 virtual buckets?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what we did last time.
Well, I pulled up, I did it, and then I pulled up my loopback, right?
Yeah. So but let's save it for next week, and then we'll come back with an assignment. Who knew you're gonna have assignments?
Well, I'm just gonna do this quickly. Oh, I can't screen share while I'm on a whiteboard. Okay.
Okay. Let me see if I can open.
I was just gonna quickly open my just quickly gonna open my loopback and just show you a preview for next week.
Maybe not.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It brings back nightmares of reverb with RØDECaster OG.
Yeah. Stereo reverb.
Yeah,
yes,
stereo
yes.
reverb.
Doesn't even have to be stereo.
This like brings back nightmares.
Who can access? Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to see if I can share this with you all. Share.
This is why I keep my audio set up very simple.
Only
turn the damn thing on, and that's it.
And that's why I discourage having Club Deck in the equation, because
I'm gonna. It does not matter. That is not the issue. I'm sharing this.
I will say this was very helpful, because when Nozzle was first explaining to me, conceptually I was thinking, well, okay, so he's just got 2 virtual cables connecting 2 apps, obviously just through some tabs on a browser. And I'm thinking,
yeah, but were they speaking to each other?
What about my mixer? And what about,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so this clarified that quite a bit.
Which is why I did it that way. Yeah.
So, and just so you know too, Arthur, your picture is getting choppy too. So, when you're doing all this things, just know that it's also kind of taxing on your computer as well.
That's why the more analog stuff you can do, the better.
So get a RØDECaster.
So if you can have like Clubhouse on your phone and then stick that directly to the DLZ, that takes one of these things out of the equation, and things just get more reliable.
How about this is how
to Club Deck.
This is how we end stuff. I mean, this is not a teaser, but I just want to genuinely compare this. If you have a RØDECaster Duo or Pro 2, what you do is you, in your same example in Club Deck, in Club Deck, you would choose your input and output to be coming from your USB 2. So if you have a RØDECaster, but this is not for you out there. This is for people with the RØDECaster. So don't feel like you need to process this information. And then in Cheddar, you would use USB 1 chat. And because USB 2 already have mix minus, USB chat already have mix minus, you're set. That's it. And this is why you spend money. And
I'm glad I have a RØDECaster.
Which is why I should smile. Let's take a picture again.
And the DLZ, because of Sean.
And no, the DLZ has mix minus too, right? So
it has mix minus, but that's not the thing. That's not the benefit of the RØDECaster. The benefit of the RØDECaster is the fact that it has 2 USB inputs and outputs.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why
you don't even need a second device, because those 2 inputs and outputs can be connected to the same computer, and therefore now your computer have 2 sets of input, 2 pairs of input.
It's an extra cable,
But hey, John.
Yeah.
Mackie will catch up at some point.
since they already bought them. No, this is not a knock or anything, because this is, but it is more of a pat on the back of RØDECaster for thinking about putting two USB inputs and outputs, two sets of them, and in fact technically 3 sets, because you can have USB 1 main in out, USB chat in out, and USB 2 in out. All those are USB connections. So
and you can have even more.
Well, one way. And you can have more output from your computer to the mixer, but you can have additional one back into the computer. So that is why I think when people ask, why do you choose the RØDECaster, that is the reason. And until you have the need for it, it is something that it can be easily brushed off, because it's never been out there. Which is why I think the Rode made a really smart move when it comes to knowing, or at least foreseeing, or maybe accidentally getting into the territory of having multiple chat applications running at the same time and merge them together. Arthur?
I will say that this use case is somewhat temporary.
Yes.
It's not something that I'll need permanently.
For me, it's something that I do every week, right? So that's why I see the need for it. Connecting Clubhouse to Zoom call that is then eventually broadcast out. But eventually on Chatter, you may not need to do that.
Yeah, and I would advise, Arthur, in your specific case, and we'll get to it, but if you take Club Deck out of the equation and just plug your phone right into your DLZ with Clubhouse, and there's a mix, like it would save. It would be a good use case. If you want to do it this way, we will do it this way too. But
let's find out the version, because I know it's doable. Let's come back next week, and then we will.
I can do the phone. That's not a problem. I'll do the phone. But whatever.
Yeah. So just to let you know, I was doing. At one point, I had Clubhouse, I had Riverside, and Twitter simultaneously, and Zoom. So this is easy peasy compared to that. Where I
next week you all have the assignment. You saw this. Oh no, this guy. You saw. Oh wait, this.
And I remember going in when Michael and I were doing and testing it out. 2 people were like, "How are you doing this?" I'm like, "I figured it out." But signal flow, it's very important. Once you understand signal flow, then you do appreciate the ease of which you can do this with a RØDECaster.
Y'all go take a screenshot, come back next week, and see if your answer is correct. All right. Okay. So that was fun. I did not expect to talk about AI. In fact, when you guys were talking about AI, I'm not good at it, and so I don't have much to contribute. But I was running the show like a producer, which is actually a lot easier. I don't have to think about content, like information. I'm just running it and putting this and that. This flowchart.
Be a producer. There's no thinking involved.
You should add an AI episode. I mean, learner to learner is, if anything, it's a platform. So, if you don't want to do it, I'm sure somebody in the group wouldn't.
Well, I am happy. If it has to do with music and AI and all, I can definitely. I'm actually taking a course right now at Oxford on AI.
So yes, and here's the thing. I'm sure there are people. It would be better if I am interested in it and know more.
You should be interested.
I know I should be, but I'm not yet. So
perhaps you can have a special
it's just same thing as Louis has been asking me to do MIDI. I haven't done that yet because it's not something. And as a host, if you guys have the information and somebody say I'm going to take the lead and I'll run the show 1 week, that's perfectly fine. I can do that. I just personally don't have the interest and the know-how. I would love to learn it, but I don't have the passion and the curiosity to want to set a topic for that. So until then,
I don't think you have to. And I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not volunteering or saying I have the expertise to do it. But if the goal is to grow learner and learner, and I think that's your goal, is to then there's a lot of curiosity about.
Here's the thing: the flexibility of the learner to learner channel is eventually you can have an AI show and just talk about AI. And right now, my two niche shows are RØDECaster and sound audio related things, right? Not to say that we don't, because I want to talk about Ecamm too, but that's because it's something that I use all the time. I'm passionate about. Never say no, but I think if there's enough interest and enough discussion and knowledge to be shared, like just like what you guys were talking about, were great. Like sharing your experience of usage.
Here's the problem, I will tell you this, John. Here's one person that you should talk to about this is Angelique. Massive content creator. She's been doing it for years. And she uses AI all day, every day. So they use it in their business, her and her husband. But yeah, she would be a good person to have on to.
Well, that's
and you know, it's someone you know.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, Charles.
Doc Rock too.
And Phillip and Charles. Here's the problem. If we don't have John laughing and enthusiastic, and he's just sitting there frowning with negative vibes for like
no. I want. Like I was curious.
We
I
want
was
excitement from
still.
John. So until he's ready, we can't do AI until he's ready.
Let's just put it on the shelf. I'm not erasing it. I think when I get to the point,
don't forget Nozzle.
Charles,
Nozzle will be great too.
Charles, imagine 2 to 2.5 hours like we're usually doing on a Tuesday night, and John doesn't laugh once. Come on.
I have a proposal.
But here's the thing. To Phillip's point.
Yeah, I agree.
It's learner to learner.
Oh no, I agree.
It's so like the product in itself is learner to learner.
Soundcheck.
And if you're going to grow it, it's going to be right.
For me, the product is John Ong.
So
it's also a Soundcheck.
I'd like to take this opportunity to announce a whole new range of T-shirts and hats in multiple colors. And if anybody is interested, come on over to my Geek Omelette YouTube channel.
There you go.
A series of AI, informational, very quickly outdated videos.
There you go. Go to drop your channel on the chat, on the YouTube chat, so everybody can see it. No, seriously, that is. I can't do everything. And of course, when I first started talking about the channel, I think Charles was there. We were talking about how we wanted to not just make it Soundcheck or something. My bigger thing is creating a community to learn together with other people. And so it can be any subject. It can be any topic.
You really want to be.
And so it would be, if somebody else eventually, like somebody else wants to take over and do a weekly show about this, obviously great.
But info make many
we can hear it. We can hear that too. Now you can do if you have your RØDECaster, you can route it differently so that we don't hear it, but you hear it.
No, I just need to stop hitting. I'm getting ready to go. I was just gonna say the thing is that I just launched or relaunched my channel, and I'm really getting tired of talking out in the void. Although I did a video last night just reading early reviews of the new Superman movie, and because the embargo broke on it, and Clay and one of the other gentlemen on the channel joined in. So
but that's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is until learner to learner expand to other hosts on this channel, everybody who's here can share what you want to create. If it is AI related, we will go support you, because it's
right.
Yeah. So drop your channel information in the YouTube chat if you can, if you're able to get to that YouTube chat, or when this is on replay, go back there and put that in there so that people can go find out, because that's the whole purpose.
John, you're right, because AI is outside my purview right now of what I want my channel to be. So, it's interesting. I mean, maybe it fits in the whole mentality of Geek Omelette, because anything can go on an omelet.
That's true. That's true, including eggshells. Aaron,
are you putting pineapple in omelets?
I was just wondering, maybe as homework, we could think of ways that we could tease John into using AI. I don't know what ways you would use it for
that
audio.
Sounds like bullying.
No, I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting if there are some useful ways, because if he can use it with all of the things he's juggling during a show, is there a way that it could make his job easier?
Let me tell you what I'm doing. Let me tell you what I'm doing already. Okay, so what I'm currently using, but yes, you are correct. Until it is so close to me that I can use it and comprehend it. But the things that I do right now is I use AI from Zoom as my show notes. Frankly, after talking for almost 3 hours, chit-chatting, no set subjects and topics, I won't remember what we talked about. So what I did is I rely on, when the show ends, I rely on the email that I get from Zoom of what we talked about. And that's how I remember what we talked about, briefly put that in there as the title and as the thumbnail and all that. Then the next day, tomorrow, when it's processed, when YouTube process it, I use Gemini to create show notes for me with timestamps. They're not very accurate. There are times, things that I can catch, I will catch it. Things that I don't, it's okay. I have 200 subscribers. Not to say that the 200 of you are not important. You're very active. Actually, I was just saying, I was so happy that with the channel with 200 subscribers doing live shows are able to have so many guests on. I am so ready to talk on my own for 3 hours. Because it is so easily. So YouTube must be doing something right, serving the right people who not only is interested to watch like a 4-hour, 6-hour long live stream. We tried to troubleshoot Aaron's audio where he has his button muted and didn't realize it was muted. Or I'm going to pick on you forever.
How long was that?
That was 4 hours. That was 4 hours. And the first thing I asked, I don't know if you've gone back and watched it.
So
what's that?
You solved my RØDECaster problem tonight.
Well, we didn't really solve it. You did. You solved it yourself. Use the same headphones. I did suggest that. Use the same pair of headphones.
Is it muted? It's like, no.
Yeah. So I lightly generate. Make sure that it's not muted. To be fair, the muted icon is different when you are on the virtual channel. You see my mic 2 is muted here. The virtual channel mute button is just different from this mute. See, when I mute it here on the physical channel, it actually shows up as like a graded red. So he didn't realize this thing was muted. So to be fair, it's not all his fault, but he will remember this forever. And none of us will let go of that 4-hour episode. But the thing is, you all listen to it. Like many of you listen to it. So I'm so glad the algorithm works. Hopefully you'll come back next week with your homework and see if you can figure that. I'm going to try to figure it out myself too. It seems like every time I try to wrap that, and that's why I told you, Arthur, that I don't think I can do it tonight yet because it's more complicated. This is why.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it to three places on my loop back, and then I'll show.
Maybe you should download the AB cable. The thing is, like, it was last updated in 2021. That's why I'm a little reluctant to.
That's why
eventually,
I wouldn't even.
like I said, you won't have to do this because there'll be eventually you won't have to do this because once they have the streaming.
This is the beauty of my loopback.
Oh, which one was that? Was that the other
this
one?
Was mine. This is the one that I made that was like super complicated. But it's pretty. Anyway, so let's save all the answers for next week. Then maybe we'll see Sean again next week, hopefully. Come back with answers. If you don't come back next week, Sean,
I'm going to study that diagram over the next week.
If you don't come back next week, you're leaving a cliffhanger that nobody will forgive you. Okay? You cannot just send me a flowchart. You gotta come back and explain it, okay?
Can't just leave us with the theory. You gotta leave us with the actual
you have to be here.
What to do. Theory's great, but that doesn't get things done.
After all after you spend so much time explaining. Bye, Phillip. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care. See you next week. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.